Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're getting into something pretty specific, finding value, real value in assurance in these really technical sort of niche markets. And we're using the relationship between Shinybow and HDTV Supply as our main example. It's apparently quite a long-standing one.
Yeah, decades long.
Exactly. And we'll focus on a specific product, too, the Shinybow SB-5440BNC. It's an 8x1 BNC video switcher. So we've got the details on the partnership, the specs for the switcher, even compliance stuff. The mission is really to figure out, what does this kind of long history signal to you, the buyer, when you need tech that just has to work?
Well, it's interesting because right off the bat, the thing that jumps out isn't the hardware spec.
No.
It's the vendor relationship itself. HDTV Supply is described as a platinum-authorized reseller dealer and one of the oldest and most trusted Shinybow resellers. So the question becomes, why is that history maybe the key selling point?
That's what I was wondering. They're not just, shifting boxes. They're selling this legacy. The sources say it's a CEO to CEO relationship since 2002. But what does that actually mean for someone, say, managing an AV setup? How does that CEO handshake help them on the ground?
Well, it translates into operational certainty, really. When you've got that kind of top-level commitment for, 2 decades, it means there's a signed contract. And not just for some products, but to sell and support Shinybow's entire product line.
The whole catalog.
The whole thing. So think about it. If you need, I don't know, a specific replacement part or maybe a really technical answer about integrating it 5, even 10 years later, that relationship pretty much guarantees you access to the manufacturer's actual knowledge, their inventory. That stability, well, it cuts down your risk of serious downtime.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So with that background, let's look at the hardware itself. The SB-5440BNC 8x1 BNC video switcher. It also has a remote. For people not wiring studios daily, what exactly is a BNC switcher? And a distribution amplifier?
Okay, so think of it like specialized traffic control, but for older video signals. BNC, that's the connector type. It's a locking coaxial plug. You see it a lot in broadcast, security, sometimes military setups. It's stable.
Got it. Composite video, right?
Exactly. And this unit, the 8x1 part, means it takes video from up to 8 different sources, maybe old VCRs, security cams, even things like classic game consoles, and routes them cleanly to just one output device, like a monitor or recorder. The distribution amplifier bit means it also boosts and cleans up the signal so it stays strong and clear.
So it's preserving that signal quality. The specs mentioned are pretty tight, aren't they? Video bandwidth over 20 megahertz with only a plus or minus 0.5 dB tolerance.
Yeah, that's quite good for composite video. It means the picture should stay sharp, less noise, which is important if you're archiving stuff or need it for professional monitoring.
Okay.
And connecting back to that professional angle, there's another key detail: TAA compliance.
Right. The sources mention TAA compliance specifically for larger installations or government purchasing. What's that about? Where the product is made?
Pretty much. TAA is the Trade Agreements Act. For a product to be TAA compliant, it basically has to be made either in the U.S. or a designated friendly country.
Wow.
And yeah, for government buyers, military, even some big corporations, that's often a mandatory checkbox. It's about supply chain security and origin.
Okay, let's talk price then. This specific TAA compliant unit, it's listed at $268.65, which, sounds maybe reasonable for specialized gear, but honestly, you could probably find some kind of generic composite switcher online for maybe $50.
Yeah, you probably could.
So why pay, 5 times more for this one?
And that's the critical question, right? This is where we move beyond just the box itself and look at the actual, total value. It's basically an insurance policy.
How so?
Well, that $50 switcher might work fine today, but what happens if it flakes out in 6 months or 2 years? Your $50 is gone, plus you're scrambling, troubleshooting, dealing with downtime.
Which could cost way more than the switcher itself.
Exactly. So with this premium option from HDTV Supply, they're actively mitigating that risk.
Okay, so what are they bundling in? What's the insurance?
Well, first there's a 3-year Shinybow warranty. That's pretty decent.
3 years, okay.
But the real standout, the thing that connects back to that long relationship we talked about, is the free HDTV Supply US-based live telephone lifetime tech support.
Lifetime? For hardware?
Lifetime. They even list a dedicated TechXT support line. Think about that.
Wow. So if I install this in some complex, maybe slightly obscure setup today, and 5 years, 10 years from now, it suddenly stops working with a new monitor I bought, I can still call someone, a real person, based in the U.S.
That's the promise. That $268 isn't just for the physical switcher. It's buying you access to that support infrastructure, which exists because of that 2-decade partnership. It's designed to prevent, future headaches, costly replacements, maybe even system failures.
So, wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway here? It feels like this deep dive shows that, especially in these really specialized tech areas, the smart purchase isn't always just about the lowest upfront costs for the hardware.
Not at all. It's often more about the support systems, the stability that comes from the reseller, and their relationship with the manufacturer. That seems to be where the real long-term value lies.
So when you're looking at critical gear, you need to look past that initial price.
Absolutely. And maybe ask yourself this, in that constant push to optimize for today's cost, how often do we maybe overlook that the real long-term value, the operational security, is actually tied up in something like a decades-long partnership? Is that kind of support visibility factored into your most important purchasing decisions right now?